Welcome back to the Real Couchwives Podcast, where we overanalyze all things Bravo.
This week, we are going to be talking about one of my latest conspiracy theories. Was Paige and Craig's relationship a PR relationship?
Ooh, I haven't heard that one, so I'm interested to find out. We're going to be talking all about Bravo's latest, messiest breakup. And then also just get into Summer House, Southern Charm, what we're watching, because there's a lot of mess to be had and to be spoken about. So I'm excited. Let's get into it.
I'm so excited. All right, Carrie. So let me set the scene, right? So Paige and Craig, very smartly, they get together. You know, we've had one season of Winter House that Paige has basically kind of been like interested in Andrea throughout that season. Craig had been in his own relationship at that time. But the next season of Summer House comes along, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, what's Paige gonna do? Is she gonna pick Andrea? Is she gonna pick Craig?
Yeah, she literally was like bouncing between kind of two guys
trying to decide, and ultimately she decides Craig.
And everyone was so confused, ourselves included.
Everybody was super confused. Everybody was very much like Team Andrea for the most part. But you know, we kind of like stuck with it. We watched them have the relationship unfold on Winter House. It was great. And then we really just kind of like got to see like the back and forth crossover of these two franchises, and it really breathed new life into both of these franchises, right? Like Summer House was kind of like maturing into the TV show that it would become, and Southern Charm was kind of dealing with the fact that like they hadn't had a lot of kind of success. All of a sudden they'd lost like a lot of their kind of key people. They'd lost Chelsea, they'd lost Naomi, they'd lost Cam, like all at one time. And like this kind of like brought this audience back into it, and it probably even brought people over from Summer House to Southern Charm, and maybe even vice versa, right?
A crossover is big, and like I don't think we've had a crossover like that in the Bravo universe before, like so consistently.
Plus also like after, so like, you know, that all unfolds, we kind of like know that, you know, a lot of people knew that it wasn't going to work out. Some of us hoped that it would work out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if it is a PR relationship, all PR relationships do eventually come to an end. And, you know, it had run its course. It was time. And what ends up happening is we then get like the fallout of this breakup basically happening on the end of Southern Charms season, and we're continuing to watch it well into Summer House's season. So like it's still just amplifying the viewership of all of these shows, like
it's so like true.
Boosting the star power of these two people. Like Paige has never been bigger at this point. Even Craig, I think to a degree, like his business and who he is kind of like much bigger than it ever was before. Like Andy Cohen brought up their breakup on the CNN New Year's Eve thing with
John Hamm brought it up.
John Hamm and Anderson Cooper. So not only has like Scandival transcended Bravo and moved to CNN, like now Paige and Craig's breakup has also transcended that and kind of moved into that universe.
It's true.
Of pop culture. Yeah, so that's my theory.
Really? That's interesting. But do you think it was purely for PR, or because what I could see happening is Paige, when she was like, okay, I can choose Andrea or I can choose Craig.
Yeah.
If you do think about the, you know, I guess business impacts, like I'm not saying that she only dated Craig for business, because I do truly believe that these two people wanted to be together, hopefully.
This is just a fun theory, right?
Yeah, for sure. But like, I feel like especially like how business savvy Paige is, like you have to think about those crossover potentials and all of that kind of stuff.
Totally. And then like the fact that there's also been this whole kind of backlash from the Southern Charm boys towards Paige in particular, and the fact that like she didn't come on cast trips, like maybe there's some animosity there because like
we had a deal.
Hey, we were supposed to be like mutually benefiting from this relationship. You should have been coming on our cast trips and like doing the work and being part of this group so that we could help bolster this. Like I could kind of see that happening.
Interesting.
And then my last kind of like portion of this theory as well is that like basically after Scandival happened, we very much felt like Bravo was trying to recreate Scandival with Southern
Everything.
charm. Well, everything, yeah, definitely, because I think there was like
The Beverly
remnants of it with
Hills.
Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
but then also with Southern charm, like the whole Taylor, Austin, and
Olivia,
thank you. That kind of like love triangle that was happening, the love square with Chef kind of
yeah,
in there as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like it was very much kind of like giving that. So like I do think that there's room for Bravo to kind of be manipulating these things and like trying to have them play out in certain ways. And you know, there's a lot of PR relationships out there, right? Like there's the whole idea that Sabrina Carpenter and Barry Keoghan was a PR relationship. The whole idea that Taylor and Travis are a PR relationship. Like this isn't a new thing in the world at large. And it's maybe just not something that Bravo's kind of like fully taken advantage of in the past, and now they have, and they've kind of like seen the fruits of their labor.
The cash cow.
In this theory.
But
yeah, exactly.
Then why do you think Craig would be so salty in this breakup?
Because he's playing a part. He's playing a role. He's a storyteller, Carrie. He's a lawyer and a storyteller.
Of course.
I think of all the Southern Charm people, also he is the most like theatrical, and he would be the most kind of like able to kind of play it up.
Yeah.
And I think also like I listen to a fair amount of podcasts that talk about PR relationships.
Okay, this is totally new to me.
This is a new thing. Oh, okay. I'm so surprised. Okay. Well, so yeah, if you're familiar with the blind item world, you're also probably familiar with the PR relationship world. And PR relationships, like they can kind of start basically to allow each of the people involved in it to kind of have like a boosted PR experience. Like you have more things to talk about, you have more paparazzis that can be kind of like catching you guys doing stuff, but there can also still be like a grain of truth in the PR relationship, right? Like
when you're together, you're not like, okay, let's sit at other ends of the room now.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Actually, I think maybe a more famous example of it would probably be like Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson. Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, like that's a perfect PR relationship because they got paparazzi together. Like she needed to move on from Kanye. She needed somebody that was high profile enough.
It was also so random. So that would actually bring so much clarity to it.
But it was great because it worked out for both of them. Like she kind of like was able to rebrand herself. He was able to kind of continue to have like, you know, spotlight on him. And Pete Davidson has been allegedly like a really good PR boyfriend for a lot of people. Yeah. Like it's, you know.
Yeah, that seems to be like he's like the good luck Chuck of like...
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of my current theory. I think it's possible. I guess maybe I also like the theory because I like to think that like instead of this relationship just having
going up in flames,
maybe if there was more like intentionality kind of behind it and like a knowledge that it would run its course eventually, that like maybe that makes it a little bit easier to deal with. But yeah, that's just a theory, and I wanted to put it out there and see what people thought.
That's funny. I like that. And we say this like being, you know, I'm loving Paige right now. I know she gets a lot of hate and everything, but like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's just like owning everything and really just like coming into her own. I do still feel bad for Craig though. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I definitely feel like, okay, in the world that is not a PR relationship, I feel bad for both parties.
Yeah.
A lot, because like it does feel like Craig truly felt this was his person. And if not, he's going so hard into this narrative and he needs to calm down.
Right.
And like,
well, I feel like I stopped feeling bad for him as soon as we found out that he had a new girlfriend. And
that's
I was
true.
Like, oh, okay. We knew it would take you 2 seconds to move on, and indeed it has taken you 2 seconds to move on.
Right? And just like the way that he's talking about her being like, oh, like the world like turned on her because of things that she did, like because of her own actions.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know.
Like,
even Scott was kind of turning on him after the most recent reunion, so I was very appreciative of that Scott finally was starting to see the other side of Craig.
But also, like, the more that you say that you talk about this kind of conspiracy, like when you look at the Southern Charm reunion, probably a third of it was about Craig and Paige. Like they brought
Yeah.
up Craig and Paige
Yeah.
so much. It was
Yeah.
front and center.
It did feel like they spent a lot of time talking about it for some reason. Like, I guess they
Right.
just didn't have anything else to talk about from the season. They had Vanita and JT, and then they talked about the fact that it was 10 years, and they did like a little 10-year tribute.
That was cute. Oh my god, I really liked seeing
That was really cute. The early like interviews with them.
Yeah, it wasn't that their
that.
casting footage or like, or was that just, oh, it was so good.
Yeah, like it's not even a confessional. It's just kind of like what they probably would have done pre-production for the show for.
Yeah.
And they're so cute. They're babies.
They're babies. And there's just like but yeah, there wasn't really anything else going on. So like I feel like this breakup was like one of the bigger things of the season that they're just kind of like holding on to. But it's more interesting to see it on Summer.
That the PR relationship, makes
right. It's more interesting to see it on Summer House. But definitely what you can't deny is like they had been so buttoned up in their relationship, kind of similar to Tom Sandoval and Ariana, where like it was perfect until it wasn't.
Yeah. And it was very clear that they were like having discussions off camera about what they were going to discuss on camera. And like obviously to a degree you kind of know that that's going to happen, but it definitely feels like now we are getting a little bit of like a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. But that's what's so interesting is like, I mean, it's not that it was perfect. Like we all saw that this wasn't going to work in the long term because they were just so misaligned in like where they wanted to be in life.
Yes, unfortunately.
But what I find the most interesting is that I don't find like I think that the way they spoke about each other on their own shows was very positive and like they didn't really show too much or vent about each other too much. And then this season of Summer House, like Paige very clearly like has the ick or like like Paige is saying that the way that Craig is talking to her is kind of like he's saying nice things, but it's making her feel icky.
Yeah.
Or like
like that's just it. He's like saying it and saying something nicely, but like what is behind it is not a nice thing to say.
Yeah, I think she said he was like shaping her in a southern way or something.
Yeah, exactly. In the most southern way.
But it's interesting because like you never really saw that. Like you only saw, I think that's why we were all so surprised too to hear that Craig was actually kind of jealous or not being supportive of their relationship because to us he looked like the biggest cheerleader. Like
that's just it. 100%. When I saw the like Instagram stories of him kind of coming out on stage when she was doing the Giggly Squad tour, like never in a million years did I think that he wasn't like supporting her in that and that he wasn't like giving her kind of like everything that she needed to be able to do something like that. And to hear that she was actually having like panic attacks and he was being like, well, maybe you shouldn't be touring, maybe this is bad for you, and you're like, oh, Craig.
Yeah, it's but that's just it. And like the fact that it was a shock to us obviously shows that things were happening off camera, maybe maybe planned,
but maybe not.
But maybe not. It's just for fun. But like I mean it was so, it's just such a crazy shift, and I feel like it's really similar to Sandoval and Ariana, where Sandoval all of a sudden was just like, oh no, we actually have all these problems, which his was different in that like he was planting those problems to try to to make it cover up like, for his cheating.
It's time for us to break up now.
But even like, do you see everything going on online of like when Paige and Sierra were in bed, and they were talking about how Craig doesn't support Paige, and Sierra has
like the
laptop over her face. So like they're sneaky like that,
right? But like she's still mic'd in that moment. Like it's not like you can't hear what she's saying. Plus also like I could kind of see how like I would do something weird like that, where like I would just do something like, I don't know, like I'd be like counterbalancing it and be like, what's going on over here? I don't know. Like sometimes you just do weird stuff like that, right? I don't think it's intentionally trying to like hide something.
No, that's fair.
But yeah.
But it's just like, it's clear that they've had conversations about this. Like the conversations that they had was very much a person who's been like, this conversation has happened before.
Yeah, I've told you this before. I've told you. Don't make me tell you again.
Yeah. And also like you can't help but like, the truth is both of them did grow, I think both personally and in their careers from this relationship. Especially Craig, and at least he still credits her for that. Like he's a completely different person, and I think on like good or for better or for worse, I think Craig unfortunately is a person who's going to be more motivated to change for someone else than for himself. And he said like basically Paige made him want to be like a better boyfriend, a better person, and like helped him get his drinking under control. I think helped him put more effort into his business. Like he's walking away a better person.
Yeah. Well, and I do kind of hope that he continues to kind of like take those maybe baby steps and like work on them. I thought it was really interesting in the Southern Charm reunion, like part 2, how they talked about Craig basically kind of has like a bit of an addictive personality. I think that's like very true. I think that's very much like what we're seeing, and the fact that he was like, you know, it's about being all in on partying, it's about being all in on work or business, and being all in on like one particular relationship. Like it's not like it's not healthy, and that, you know, maybe hopefully this is like gives him a little bit of like a motivation to continue to work on that and like maybe deal with that side of him. So I guess only time will tell. Or he won't do anything, and he's like, oh, I've just found a new person, so it's totally fine.
Probably that. I don't know.
I'm thriving. I'm killing it. What are you talking about?
But you know what else I'm noticing as we're talking about this? I feel like the up and down, like I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Craig, like in Southern Charm, even though sometimes he's like a disaster. But him in Winter House, that first year he was dating Paige, was like horrendous. And we talked a lot of smack.
Yeah.
I feel like the rise and fall, and then at some point we bought into this relationship and we started to really love him and love them together. So
totally.
Well, the downfall, we're going back down again.
We are going back down. It's true. And I came across a TikTok actually the other day that I had saved from when their relationship had first like been announced that it was over, and I'll post it to our stories on Instagram just because it's like, it's so cute. It's this like little homage to like the two of them.
I remember.
It was so beautiful. Did I send it to you? I probably did.
Probably.
I was obsessed with it. It's like to Midnight Rain, like Taylor Swift's Midnight Rain song, and it's like so perfect, and it just encapsulates like, you know, his kind of like golden retriever side and her kind of black cat side, and how she's like going off and making her own name, as Taylor would say. And it's just I know that I just made this whole thing about how it was a PR relationship, and that's true. But at the same time, like they also like it's just beautiful. It's really cute. Yeah.
Well, that's just it. You're right. It is easier to just think that it was a PR relationship, because if not, it's just like really sad the way that it's like disintegrated, and apparently they like don't talk anymore. And
that's just it. Like dead, like scorched earth, like over it. It's not happening. Maybe there'll be a time and a place where they can kind of like have that moment together, and you know, they'll both get over it eventually, but not right now.
And it's like, it's worse because like we didn't like them at the beginning. Like at first we were like, what is this pairing? And then they like brought us in, and we were like, those two crazy kids might make it.
Maybe they'll be good together. Maybe this is the one.
The worst of it all, I think, is the vitriol that Shep has been spewing against Paige and everything. That's been wild. Like, oh, her silly little podcast. Like, I'm sorry, mailbox money.
Her silly talk show.
Yeah.
Like, what a boomer. I'm sorry. Come on, dude. It's a podcast.
Is it on the internet?
It's 2025. Everybody knows what a podcast is at this point.
Like, your little two friends just had one.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God. It's so crazy.
Which I think is another topic that we should think about for another time, because I'm coining it. I feel like this is the breakup that caused a Bravo civil war. Like, it is full on Summer House versus Southern Charm, and they've picked their sides. And some of them have picked each other's sides. So we kind of want to unpack that.
Let's get into that more, definitely. Maybe
let us know
it for next week.
Let us know if you have any theories on that, because I think that's what we're going to talk about next week. But other than all of this, Southern Charm just ended. How are you feeling? It felt like it was a little womp of a season.
It did unfortunately end up feeling a bit like it was a womp of a season. I think we kind of got set up thinking that it was going to be a lot more about Shep and his kind of like recovery.
No, but he went to ayahuasca, so he was fine. We talked about it for one episode, and then now we hate Craig.
So that was unfortunate. I guess I just kind of hope that this was like a weird transition season and that next season can be a little bit more cohesive.
Yeah.
It sounds like, I don't know if you saw the Brav Bros podcast, but they talked about how there was allegedly, and actually I think Reality Bites addressed it too, like how there was a producer switch like halfway through the season.
Oh, yes.
So that's maybe also why it doesn't feel so cohesive this year.
But wasn't it like the dude that everyone hates from VPR?
Yeah, it was Jeremiah. But it was like moving away from Jeremiah to
okay.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, like, there was definitely enjoyable parts of the season. I think there were parts that were fun. I was just shocked that some of my favorite parts were like Madison and even Austin. Like Madison and Austin together, I love their new friendship. I love that they've become almost like a gay BFF thing happening of exes.
Yeah.
I've loved Molly. Molly was a great addition.
Yeah, I think Molly was a good addition. Even Sally, like I didn't mind her by the end.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I think the JT and Benita stuff was like interesting, but like it got dragged on too much and I don't understand it. And like, okay, if you're gonna say PR relationship, that feels like a that feels like a relationship that they tried to be a PR relationship, but it just didn't work. And then now they're just like floundering in like this weird aftermath.
And they cannot get their story straight. They have no idea what's going on. It's like, guys, come on, like also, just a little bit.
There's no chemistry between these two people. Like I just like it came out of thin air that they're like, I don't know. It's weird to me. Like something's wrong.
100%. Well, and the fact that like Venita still kind of seems like she's a little hung up on JT, and I'm like, Venita, still?
No, she literally straight up said that, and I was like, what? This man. This man.
This is your man. That's my man.
Yeah. That was weird. Leva continued to not be part of it at all and is now leaving.
Yeah, which actually, like, I know that I'm probably one of the biggest like Leva opposers, but I am genuinely upset about that. And I think the reason that I'm the most upset about that is because I feel like we see the potential in Leva. Like I think that she could, like I think when she comes into these arguments, she does a really good job of kind of like framing them, talking to them, like holding her ground, kind of having a point of view. I just wish that we got more of her. And like I get that she wasn't going to be able to give us more, so she made the right choice in leaving, but I just guess I wish that it could have gone differently.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, and I almost wonder if she came in taking a bit of a Cam stance where like that's exactly what Cam was, right? Like Cam never really, but the thing is Cam still showed
it. She
was in it, and she showed more of her life. Like she showed a lot with her being a mom and like her struggles with that, and like I think she eventually let us in. Like it was weird the first season where she literally had a boyfriend and got married and didn't tell anyone.
No idea. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, like I feel like Leva came in being like, I'm going to be the storyteller, and that's just what I'm going to be. And like, but it also, I do agree with you in what she's saying, and I think that it's nice that she'll also kind of stick up for the underdog a little bit, or like kind of bring a voice to someone when like Craig is like screaming at them or something.
Yeah.
But when we see so little of her, I don't care as much about what she's saying. Like, I just feel like she's not in the mix.
Yeah, that's just it. Like the fact that she doesn't really go, like she always like opts out of cast trips. She always like can't do anything. We don't see any of her home life, like even if it's just with like Little or whatever. We don't see any of her like it would have been so interesting because didn't they just open the Zachary's Daiquiris?
I don't know what it's called, but there was something. Yeah.
But that's just it. She was like opening a whole new restaurant. Like it would have been really interesting to see that happen and be like, oh, let's go to like the building site, like see as it's like being put together or something. Like I don't know. Like I just feel like there's like there was potential there for storylines that weren't necessarily about her and her husband if her husband didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah. Or just like show up to the things.
Or just show up. Just show up. You don't have to whatever, but yeah, anyways, it's too bad, but it is, I guess, the end of Leva on the show, so it is what it is.
And then we also, the Bahamas stuff was dragged out, but it was still wild, and to see Shep get a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. Actually,
And yet
this whole thing seems like a PR thing, because it's like, that made no sense either. Like, this girl did not like you.
Well, that actually, I feel like that would be a disaster if that was a PR relationship, because that really didn't work in either of their directions. Like, that made
It's true.
both
She
of
was
them
like
look
villainized,
bad.
and then
Yeah.
like he was just like,
yeah, it just came off cringe and came off like completely unsexy, like just the opposite of anything attractive. Like,
except
really.
for Molly. I guess it worked for Molly.
Unfortunately, I think that Molly is unfortunately just thirsty. I don't know, like moment of weakness, perhaps.
Your perfect little freckled lips.
He did look pretty cute in the season finale in his little like suit thing that he was wearing. But so I can understand that, you know, she was like, hey, I'm on a date with him, I might as well kiss him. But yeah, she's at least not gone like on to date him, so I think she's made the right choice there. But yeah, but then I hated how much of the reunion was like dedicated to kind of bad mouthing Sienna.
Yeah.
And like it felt really cruel and unnecessary. I don't know. Like, and there's like been so many like, you know, gold digger comments and different things like that, and it's just like
it was all just weird,
classic
like
Southern charm misogyny.
Yeah. But we also just felt like something was not adding up with like this girl literally did not want to be around Shep in any way.
Yeah.
Like,
he was forcing this to happen. He kept on being like, yeah, come on the boat, come hang out with us, come to dinner, that's a really good idea, hey, come dress me in my dressing room. Like,
also like she's super young, so yeah, it's like, look, I don't know what happened. It did very much feel like she led him on, because I don't know how he could be on such a different page from her.
I don't know,
but like
she could have led him on though. Like, she was giving him nothing, and he was
no, it's
just
true.
like,
but like, how did
up.
they get to the point that they were at here? But yeah, it's like in Southern Charm, the last thing we need is more older people, you know, basically shitting on this like young girl.
Yeah,
like we just don't need more of that.
Yeah, we don't need any more of that. We've had our fill. You've done your time. It's great. You enjoyed it while it lasted, but maybe let's move on to like new, different storylines.
Also, like, I don't think it made any of us feel bad for Shep, because he's been mistreating women for like literally years, and now he gets like a little bit of a taste.
Tiny.
It also makes me realize, I think the reason Shep went so crazy with her is because he is just not used to women saying no to him.
Yeah, not being interested in him.
Interested.
Which is kind of also what happened with Chelsea in the season that she was like into Austin in season 4. I think it was Austin's first season. And Cam was trying to get Chelsea and Shep together, and Shep was like, wasn't interested basically until Chelsea was like, no, I'm interested in Austin, I'm gonna go hang out with him instead. And then Shep was like, wait a minute, let me go kiss you even though you told me not to. Like,
and like they go so below the belt, like then they just start like shitting on each other so hard, and it's like, this is supposedly your best friend. So yeah, it's just like, it's weird. I'm still frustrated that like Shep went through such, like, the whole reunion last year was Shep and his drinking and him being like, I need a change. And like, I'm just like, I really thought there would be more about that this season.
Yeah.
And like, not just like, well, we button that up and I go for runs with my dog and I'm totally fine. Like, I don't know. And also, I just find like there's never an accountability season for Shep. Like, how did this season turn more into everyone hating Craig? Like, I just don't.
And hating Sienna.
It's giving Beverly Hills of just like, let's find the person we're all gonna like go after.
Right. Yeah, it's always easier to go after somebody else. Yeah, I don't. Well, and I know that Shep has had better seasons and he's had worse seasons. That's for sure. And this, I guess, was on like the scale of worse seasons for him.
Nah, I don't know if it was though. Like, it was cringy, but like, we didn't like. I feel last season was probably worse when we saw him like drunkenly blow up at Taylor. Like, in terms of his rage, it was a better season for him.
Well, I guess that is true, and I guess the real test will be BravoCon 2025. So I guess we'll see if we have to readdress the Shep rumors at the next reunion in whenever that happens.
I mean, yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully he's like continuing. It's more just frustrating that I just feel like this is a guy who gets let off the hook constantly, and like it's always just like Craig or Austin. Like those are the two punching bags, and it alternates.
Yeah. But also the thing is, like, I just don't think that there's any, I guess I just don't feel like he is gonna learn much, so there's not a lot more story there for him to actually change.
That's true.
But
does it feel like Austin might be changing?
Or did we just not see him that much this season? So
like, honestly, that's a really good question to ask. It's so true. Okay, actually, another, I think, really touching moment of the season was when Craig told Austin that he basically has a problem with alcohol, and that and like it was starting to impact their friendship, and the reason he couldn't get off the couch is because he was gonna like drink and bad things were gonna happen. And then they were like both crying. I thought that was like, no.
So, okay, my problem with that scene, and I know that I'm gonna come off as such a Craig hater, but is that like in that scene, Craig literally is drinking champagne from a bottle, and like he basically like is like, oh, I'm about to have this conversation about me being an alcoholic. Let me put this bottle on the ground so that it's not just like literally sitting here, because that would be too ironic.
That's true. But he does specify he doesn't not drink anything. He doesn't drink like hard liquor, right? I know,
but he's drinking champagne from a bottle. Like it's straight true. From a bottle right now.
It's not great.
It's not great. It's not great. And so I don't know. I guess I kind of like don't know. I guess maybe I also just have a problem with like not knowing how real Craig is. Like, is he kind of like saying these things to kind of come off as good and like using it as an excuse to kind of like explain what's happening in his relationship with Austin, or is it genuine? And I'm at the point where I can't tell the difference between these versions of Craig.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just, jilted.
We're still angry about the breakup and his actions.
Not even just because of the breakup, but just because of everything that he's done over the years, right?
No, like, it's true. It's true. And it's just so funny how quickly we can like flip-flop on him because of his actions. Like, I feel like sometimes we're like earlier in the season, we were like, oh, why are Shep and Austin hating on him? Like, he's just trying to get his life together. Like, what's wrong with you guys? And now we're like, oh.
Yeah. Now that I've seen the season,
But that's kind of, I feel like, always been the strength of Southern Charm. And this is actually, I think, what you said when I first started getting into Southern Charm is like, you never know how you're going to feel about a certain person between seasons. Like, it really changes.
100%. From season to season, it can be completely different for people. So which is kind of what's enjoyable about it. Everybody gets kind of different treatments each year, and the dynamic of the cast changes from year to year, which is nice. Yeah. And the thing is, like, ultimately, I always will say that Craig is an incredible reality TV star and like an incredible reality TV personality. And
no, totally.
I'll at least give him that.
I think that kind of sums up Southern Charm.
I think so.
I also want to talk to you about Summer House because it is so good.
It is so good. How are you feeling about? So we're a few weeks in. I feel like we haven't talked too much about like the new castmates yet. Like, how are you feeling about the new additions to the group?
So Lexi and Emerald.
Basically, yeah. Bailey's there every once in a while. But.
Yeah. I have no use for Emerald. I don't understand his casting at all.
Okay,
I feel
fair.
like having one night stands is not a storyline.
Right. Okay.
It was more interesting when he shared that he was married, and then that's kind of like a little bit of why he's acting the way he does, but like I don't find he's bringing anything, and like it's not as fun and exciting as I think Bravo thought that it might be to show him covering up a camera and then
every
like
weekend
a girl just leave. Like, cool, great, okay.
I think that's fair.
I still don't know how I feel about Lexi. I think I feel more about Lexi in the context of her relationship with Jesse, of which I have a lot of thoughts, because it's so wild to see the other side of love bombing. Like, Jesse, you know, when like a girl's like, no, he obviously likes me, he's texting me all the time, we're talking so much, like how could he be talking to other girls? This is how. This is the other side.
This is
like
it, unfortunately.
he's literally like saying I love you, he's like love bombing her, he's like obsessive, and then, you know, she's not there for a weekend, he's telling Sierra that like he basically wishes that he took a shot with her.
Yeah.
Like it's like
yeah.
yeah.
And like seeing that and also being like, but to what end? Like, why do you like, and I guess this is the thing that it's like it's giving us kind of like the peek behind the curtain at like men and like their mental
Psychotic.
whatever. Yeah, their psychosis, exactly. But because it's just like, so what is Sierra supposed to do with that? Like, oh my god, maybe I'm in love with you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe I love
maybe
you,
I
Jesse.
love you. That's like gotta be one of our most views memes
Yeah.
in the world. Yeah, like I just don't know how Sierra is supposed to respond to that, and like to consider that he's like doing that when he's also like allegedly like trying to get Wes back in Sierra's good books, but he's like, well, I might as well like try to kill two birds with one stone, so let me like shoot my shot with Sierra and also try to get in a good word for Wes at the same time, and like just see what happens. Like,
but,
oh, the Wes thing didn't work out, maybe I still have a shot. So
but the worst part is I still like there's such a goofiness to Jesse.
yeah,
It's a bit of the it's the Tom Schwartz effect.
yes,
That
where you still kind of like him.
you still kind of like him, even though he's being the messiest dude. I'm like, there's
still kind
something.
of endearing.
Yeah, God
Totally.
damn it, Jesse Solomon.
God damn it, 100%. And he'll sing a song at the season finale, and we'll all be like, "Oh, bravo, Jesse Solomon, you got us again."
Right, but then there's West, who to me is coming off as the biggest goober.
The worst. Oh my god, which is so annoying because he had such a good season last year. Was feeling so good about it, and now it just goes to show like this is what happens. Like, don't trust men.
I don't know if I've ever seen a bigger fall from grace in a shorter time.
It is bad. And the thing is, I thought that he could at least kind of like I felt like he was doing a good job. I was like, okay, you're smart, you're like keeping your affairs out of the house, that's probably a really good idea. You're trying to just be respectful, you're trying to win her back over with your humor. And then for him to kind of have this like drunken little like crybaby session to Amanda,
and you're just like it's so mad. And okay, someone brought this up that I think is a really good point, that it's like because it's being drawn out through the season, it feels like Sierra might be holding on to this for longer.
Right.
She basically like this article that they're talking about where he basically said like I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
Is very fresh at this moment. Like basically it came out like she saw it when she got back from Traders or something, or she saw it and then went to Traders, but like
no, she saw it. I think based on how she's told it, she saw it when she got back from Traders.
Yeah, so like this is still very fresh for her. So like I'm sorry if she doesn't open back up to you in like 3 weeks. Like shut the F up. Like I have no time.
Like get like, oh no, maybe he is a good guy. Like, come on.
And the thing that's getting me with Wes too is not only is he being okay, whatever. I think at one point we're like maybe he's just super awkward and he doesn't know what to do in like the group scenarios, but he's a douche in his interviews.
Yeah, he's a douche in his interviews, and honestly, like I still just can't deal with the fact that like he can't like do it to her face, right? Like if you're gonna be a prick, be a prick to her face. Like let her know it and like say something. Don't like, hide behind Jesse, hide behind Amanda, like have these like little one-on-one pity fests and like then say it in your confessional. Like do it in the actual moment. That's what you've been hired to do. You're supposed to have these confrontations. She wants to have it out with you. She would probably rather have it out with you than like find out after the fact that all of this is happening.
Yeah,
and,
like, it's literally why this is happening.
You're making the problem so much worse. You guys could actually be at a better place if you were just all open and honest and like treated her like a real human being, like quite frankly. Like,
and it's also very clear that he doesn't care about her feelings. He just wants her to stop being mad at him, and he wants to stop like being the bad guy to the fans. Probably
he just wants to come off as a good guy again, and that's all. He was like riding that high. He loved the experience of it, and the thing is, like, none of us are ever going to be able to get it out of our minds, or at least I'm not going to be able to get it out of my mind, that he like just is what would be a better word than
F-boy?
WHORE. He is a fame blank.
Oh yeah.
And like he's just like he got like a little taste of it and he was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm the coolest dude ever. I am amazing. I'm wonderful. I am riding this high. And like it's just it's changed him.
It has,
changed
and I
him.
think maybe that's also why we're still kind of liking Jesse, is because I feel like Jesse is still acting the same.
That's a very good point. That's actually a very good point. I think you're right. He still feels authentic. It still feels like we're watching Jesse Solomon.
Yeah, like West, just like he's not bringing anything. Like he's coming in, he's weird and awkward and just like being very like, woe is me and like poor me. Why is Sierra mean to me?
Yeah.
And then like his confessionals are like, oh, yeah, obviously I went home with someone.
Yeah. Obviously we didn't just sleep on a couch. Like obviously
I'm on Bravo. Don't you know?
Don't you know my phone is juicy?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Disgusting. Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. I think it's the inauthenticity, just the fact that he can't be direct, like he's so hyper aware of the cameras and everything that's happening and trying to like edit himself and it's not coming across well.
Yeah. I also don't know what the F he's wearing all the time.
Oh, I know. Oh my god. He thinks that he's fashion,
it's
fashion
crazy.
Carrie. Don't you know?
Yeah, sorry. It's I can't get over the fall from grace. It's crazy. But yeah, how are you feeling about the two new people?
Yes. I think I totally understand what you're saying on Imrul. I will give him until the end of the season before I make my full assessment. Because I feel like I've made like even with like Chris 2 years ago, I feel like at first I was kind of like, oh no, it wasn't really a good Chris season. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, oh no, Chris did actually do a pretty good job of kind of like integrating with the group. So I think, yeah, you just need kind of like a little bit more time with them to kind of see how they really fare. Lexi, I see her being like a new staple. Like I do see her like sticking around. Like I don't think that this is going to be a one season wonder. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I do think it's like interesting more just like on the periphery of all the other stuff that she's doing, like going around on like her podcast and like saying things about like the cast and like just
wait,
like,
is she? I haven't heard any of this.
Yeah. I thought you told me this. Anyways, okay, well I'll tell you this. So apparently she's been going on her podcast and like
with her mom and sister that she does everything with.
I guess, I don't know.
That she was clubbing with.
Chances are they're probably on it, yeah. But apparently she's been going on to her podcast kind of like talking about the whole situation and just doing a lot of stuff where she talks about how like, you know, it's really hard for her to make friends because she's so beautiful.
Because she's a model. Oh,
she's
God.
A model. And well, I don't think she's saying that specifically, but that's like the like in between the line version of it. And like, you know, she's like, people are always jealous of me and I got really bullied a lot because I was so pretty. And it's just like, I don't know, I feel like models always say that they like got bullied in school. And I was just like, I don't know, I feel like I remember elementary school and everybody that was really pretty was just super popular. Like nobody was bullying
like the Victoria's Secret models were always like, I was so ugly as a child.
I was an ugly duckling. I was so long and lanky and I was just awkward. Like, okay, Candace Waterfall. Who I love, don't worry. I love Candace Waterfall.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Lexi either. Talk about a PR relationship. That could be one because that was so fast and random.
It was fast, but I think that
I'm just gonna say PR relationship for everything now that you taught me this.
Now that you know what it is, well, just wait until I tell you about Gaylord. Gosh, Kara, you've got so much more learning to do.
But okay, hear me out. It was so random. Like it just like it was like they met and then Jessie was like, "I love you," and she was like, "I love you too," and I was just like. It just felt so. If not, then it was just convenience, and it was like, oh, new girl in house, cool.
Here's two beautiful people find each other and like couple up together.
Like to me, it was just like it was just weird. Like I don't feel bought into the relationship in any way because like it just feels so random and forced, and not forced, but like fast. And I don't feel like I have anything that like draws me into this relationship.
Yeah, I don't think. But that's also kind of what's fun about it is that it's just kind of like. It's kind of like a car crash in the with a lack of a better term, where it's just like oh, we know that this car crash is going to happen. Let's just watch it unfold. It's really, I wish I had come up with some kind of other excuse of things
I mean,
to
that
think
is
about,
what they
but
say.
that's kind of what it feels like. And yeah, we're just watching it unfold and how badly it is going. And it is indeed going very badly for both of them. And it is only going to get worse. It is only going to get messier.
And it also really feels like Jesse just became exclusive with her so that he can sleep with her, which feels real gross.
100%.
Like
100%.
you were almost 30.
Yeah. And the fact that like he like was like, I'm not gonna tell her about the flirting with Sierra thing. I'm not gonna tell her about the toe sucking thing. The 37 minutes that were lost in that bedroom when a threesome was happening that I allegedly did not participate in, but still spent 37 minutes present for. Yeah, I think it's very convenient that he left that out before they had relations together.
Yeah, that's gross. That makes me feel gross.
Yeah, no, we do not appreciate that.
I also
Minus
don't
points for Jesse Solomon.
I also don't know how I feel about Lindsay going so hard at Carl and just being like, you know, in that scene where she's like basically just crapping all over him and being like, and I'm gonna add cheater to your list.
Yeah.
Like, I
I'd
feel like
rather watch paint dry than go to your event.
Yeah. Like, she's still very much on the you broke up with me, so you can't say anything or be sad or do anything. And like, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I have to admit, I hate how both of them are kind of handling it like post breakup. Like, I feel like they did like a pretty good job at the first weekend, and now, between her kind of like calling him a cheater, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, but Lindsay, that relationship should not have progressed.
No.
Like, it was good that this didn't happen. Like, ultimately, it's good that he broke up with you, or like whatever, that you guys didn't stay together. Like, that's the best case scenario for both of you, because this was not.
Yeah. Like, he literally went to your gender reveal party and he sat there and he wore a bib and he was like, yay.
Yeah, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of that, the fact that like Carl is like talking about all this like animosity and resentment that he's built up against Lindsay, I'm like, that's completely unfounded. Like, if you're having those kinds of feelings towards Lindsay, like, you need to, I know that he's in therapy, or at least allegedly according to his podcast with Nick Viall, he's in therapy. But that's really messed up if you're having those kinds of feelings towards Lindsay, because she didn't do anything. And this whole comment, the comment that he made about her getting pregnant in the bed that he bought.
Oh, yeah, that was so bad. That was like giving, what was it? The Tom Sandoval, like with Jax. You hooked up in my bed. With my
condoms. Those are my condoms. I paid for those. Yes, it is like that. But it's also just like, dude, you don't know where she got pregnant. You broke up this relationship. You don't get to have like feelings about what does or does not happen on the bed frame that you purchased. Like, you signed a lease for another year for an apartment when you probably knew that this relationship wasn't going to work. Like, you made your life decisions. You made your bed. You have to.
No, for sure. Like, I feel like that's the thing, is like both of these people
are wrong.
Have faults in this relationship, in the end of the relationship, in the aftermath of the relationship, but neither one of them can see that.
No,
like,
they're just focused on what the other person's like doing wrong to them.
And Carl also just like very much being like, I haven't even like kissed anyone since Lindsay, and she's pregnant.
Yeah. But it's also like, are you having to like support that narrative because you like I just don't know, like, why do you need to be like airing that information out? Are you trying to create kind of like this like veneer of, or not, what is it, like veneer?
No, I think I think so.
This like image of yourself that you're like so like self-sacrificing, and you're like just taking care of yourself, and you're so like evolved or whatever, that you haven't even kissed anybody since Lindsay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild. It's a wild situation to be in, that like they're literally both in a house the same time last year. They were going to be getting married.
Yeah.
One of them is now pregnant. Like, it's just, it's pretty crazy that we're able to watch this.
It is kind of crazy that we're able to watch it. And I'm also a little like, oh, I really wish that I wasn't watching this, especially when it comes to Carl dating. Like, that, we haven't even talked about Lil. Like, I think we have to talk about Lil. So, I understand she's younger. She's gonna be doing her own thing. I love that for her. It is a little bit manic pixie dream girl. I have this deck of cards in my pocket or in my purse at all times because I want to be able to do a magic trick, even though I haven't learned any magic tricks. Like, okay,
Yeah,
good for you.
there's a
I
lot.
don't know.
People are making comparisons with her and Joe.
Oh, I don't
From
think she's as
BPR.
bad as Joe.
No. But like, yeah, there's definitely an intense energy there, which I can't see Carl with. But he does tend to find women who are very different than him, so I don't know.
She is definitely the complete, well, she's definitely the complete antithesis of Lindsay, that's for sure. And then, oh my god, and then the two of them like breakdancing on the fake water at the party. And
yeah, we're just like, we don't need to watch
like,
this. Like, we're fine. We're fine. It's okay. You go do that. You do it on the weekdays.
Have fun, enjoy. We don't need to witness this. It's so awkward. And maybe it should be a lesson to 40-year-old men to not date 26-year-old women. Like, there's no way that he could be listening to that conversation and like being like, yeah, I am emotionally and mentally fulfilled right now. I'm sorry. Go date somebody your own age.
Yeah, clearly they can't. It's
disgusting.
Wild. Yeah.
Disgusting.
And then I'm like, I feel like there was something else I wanted to tell you and I forget now about Summer House.
I think what's so interesting about this season is like we've just had like a whole like what the 20-minute conversation about Summer House and we haven't even talked about any of the main cast members. Like,
oh my god, it's so true.
So much stuff happening in the main plot
Lindsay
line.
and Carl. But yeah.
Well, even this year they kind of feel a little bit more ancillary, right?
That's
like, they're not like the core group. I really feel like at this point, like Kyle, Amanda, Paige, and Sierra are like core, and then everybody else is just like periphery.
That's true. That's true. I mean, yeah. There was the Craig and Kyle stuff.
Yeah, which was boring. And I was like, this doesn't even matter. They're not together anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I do think Craig is, there you go. I'll give Craig another point there. I do think Craig was right that like Kyle should not be standing in the way of anybody making money and should not be like having an issue with any of his like friends having sponsorship deals that are beyond Loverboy. Like, that's
no, for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight.
That was a crazy fight.
And I'm just so happy that Paige and Amanda are able to keep their friendship amongst all of these things.
All the craziness.
Because honestly, like rewatching Summer House from the beginning and like from season 3, like they were so close, the three of them, and it's actually so sad the way that relationship disintegrated because of Kyle.
Yeah. Well, because of Kyle and because of egos.
That's true. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. The whole Craig, not Craig, geez, Kyle, Carl. Oh my god, why are all these names so summer?
Yeah.
The whole him being like, I'm so awkward, I don't know how to date, is so funny because I'm rewatching old seasons of Summer House and like he literally gets introduced as being like the ultimate like
F-boy.
Yeah. Like he literally would just pull up to a table of a bunch of girls drinking, being like, hey ladies, can I have some? But then I also have to remember he was drinking then and he's not now, and that there is a lot of he's a different person, but it's just kind of like crazy to be watching those old seasons and now to see him being like
it is interesting to think that like you could have like essentially like no game, like you could like that's how much your kind of like personality, I guess, was like fueled by alcohol and by substances that you didn't even know or couldn't even like remember how to like tap into that like that like muscle memory or anything. Like you definitely think that would still be something that you could do, but I guess not. And yeah, boy, are we dealing with the consequences of that.
Yeah, but overall it's such a good season. I just keep wanting the next episode to come out, so at least we have something.
Yes, 100%. One thing.
Let us know what else you're watching. I did want to tell you about Temptation Island, but unfortunately I have to go, but we can talk about it next time. It is weird as hell.
Love it. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm so excited.
Yay. How are you feeling about Paige and Craig? I'm scared to ask.
Guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah, we'll find out, I'm sure. And yeah, Summer House and Southern Charm. How do you like these seasons?
Perfect.
Yay.
Love it. All right, I'll let you stop.